Joe Mazzulla is up to his old tricks again at practice. Plus, has he revealed his starting lineup? It's all right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT. Karalis recap the madness every game, every practice. Primetime Depp and D White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked On Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Where does your team every day? Your team is the Boston Celtics, and I talk about them every Monday through Friday. The show is free. It's available everywhere. It's on YouTube. Watch the show there. Get into the comment section. Become an everydayer. Join me for every Monday through Friday show daily on your favorite podcasting app. I'm John Karalis, beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. Been doing a version of this job for about 20 years now. I've written a couple of books about the team as well. So join me on this journey, won't you? FanDuel is the sponsor of today's show. Right now, if you're a new customer, you bet $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets. So go ahead to FanDuel.com to get started. Today is a very Joe Mazzulla-centric day. Later on, we'll talk about the starting lineup. And not the starting lineup that I was pushing for, but I think we can put the pieces together from the videos that we've seen from practice and come up with a starting lineup that at least we can expect to start the preseason. We'll talk a lot about Joe and Joe's fun way to start practices. It's just another Joe being Joe moment. We're going to do it with Tom Westerholm. Tom, how are you, my friend?
What's up?
How are you, man? I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, we're a few days away from preseason games. So
crazy.
This is like, I was like happy to be back and happy for media day. Like, okay, we're good. And then you're like, okay, we still can't see everything that's happening. So we got to wait for preseason games. But the Celtics social team, between your TikToks and your Instagrams and tweets and YouTubes, you can piece together a lot of the things that are happening in practice. I got to start with spike ball. Tom, you a spike ball guy?
I've dabbled. Yeah. I mean, you know, I live in a beach town now. You know, spike ball's a nice thing to bring to the beach and play a little bit. It's a good time.
Seems like a fun. I've never played spike ball.
I mean, the key to spike ball is angles. It's all about you got to hit the angles. I mean, you know, you got to be unpredictable. I'm sure these are all things that Joe likes. Is that like the key to spike ball is to like really, you know, like you can hammer it as hard as you want, but if you hit that thing hard straight down onto the net, it's gonna go super high. The other team's gonna have a real good chance to get to it. You're way better off just being sneaky by you know, doing some tricky stuff. Like be unpredictable. Be ungovernable. That's the key to like.
It's funny to me because, you know, Joe's always using like these crazy, like he what was he doing last year? I know he had football and they had like other crazy little games and stuff. And he's always looking for something to kind of get the guys going. And watching these spike ball videos, I'm like, you know, this is actually not only is it like a good warm up, good camaraderie, you know, gets the competitive juices flowing. This actually seems like a hell of a drill for basketball.
Yeah.
He's like you said, you're like, you're sliding. You have to be like on your toes. You have to read what the other guy's doing with the ball. You have to like react quickly, communicate with your teammate. And it's just a lot of like, unpredictable. You know, what does the situation call for? It's very Mr. Miyagi, Karate Kid. You don't realize that the wax on, wax off is a defensive, you know, karate move. And you don't realize that, you know, paint the fence and all that stuff is, you know, another. You don't realize that the spike ball stuff is, oh, wow, we're actually incorporating spike ball concepts into what we're doing. But it really is an interesting way, a Joe Mazzulla way to get these guys kind of used to moving with one another and working with one another. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool because part of it, right, is like you have these instant groups, right? Like you're grouped immediately. Like it's like, okay, this is now your partner. You need to learn how to communicate, like you said. You need to learn how to communicate with this person. You need to learn how to work with this person. And hey, if you win with this person, you have that little bit of dopamine, right? You got that little bit of like, oh, I remember, yeah, okay, yeah, I might not know Garza super well, but I did win not just one, but two rounds of spike ball with that man. You know what? That guy's okay.
Yeah.
That guy's okay. Like we were just talking yesterday. Like Jaylen, is like, oh, like I'm sad to be missing my guys, sad to be missing my the teammates. It's like, well, this is a good way. Yeah, like for sure, fair. I mean, those were guys that you played football with last year. Like, these are guys that you made memories with over the last couple of years, but in a small little way, in kind of a get started way, you're making little memories with spike ball. Like you're just kind of creating these little connections, these little micro connections.
It was the baton handoff that I was thinking of last year.
Right. I forgot about the baton.
4x4. Yeah. Like that was the baton relay.
Again, little micro connections. I mean, in a literal sense there, right? Because it's like you're literally like you are holding the baton and then somebody else is holding the baton. Like little micro connections.
It's funny that at this level, at the NBA level, something silly like spike ball is kind of exactly what a team like this needs. And all these little things, right? It's any team building thing. You see guys, you go bowling.
Yeah.
Little movie. You find these situations. I think it does show Joe has a real good grasp on just what the team needs in the moment. And like, I got to ask him, like, we're going to have practice on Friday. I'm like, what made you think spike ball was the way to go and start your practices now? And like, was he at a beach and he saw people playing spike ball and he was like, that's it. So it's just wild to me that I never would have thought that. Like, whatever. What are they going to do? That Frisbee game next? What's that? The one, the Frisbee with the barrel?
Oh, Can Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not that? Why not?
Sure. I mean, find some baskets, bring in a little disc golf next year.
Yeah.
Put it around the facility. Why
not?
All right. The next one is up underneath the banners on the walkway. You got to get it up onto the walkway. Like
just a big Frisbee golf thing. As soon as you walk in the door at the Arback Center, here's your Frisbee. There's the target. Go.
It's so much fun.
It would be fun.
Honestly, I mean, spike ball would be fun. Like it's funny, right? Because it's like when you think Mazzulla, you think about a guy who does like, he's like, he likes to fight. He likes his martial arts. He's like about, you're thinking about a guy who super intense, always talking about like predators in the animal world, but like also, it's early in the season. These guys are gonna be. He's got it set up so that his guys can have a good time. Like it's not. He's not just Mr. All Intensity Predator, prey, whatever. Like it's not just that.
We'll continue the conversation about Joe Mazzulla, and we'll get to the starting lineup stuff when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. If you are like me, you have a lot of different places where you've put your money to prepare yourself for retirement at some point. I mean, I'm in my 50s, something that's coming up sooner rather than later. I'd like to make sure I have my money where I need it to be, but Monarch Money is going to help me keep all of my financial, different outlets in one place. It's going to give me this easy to use interface that's on my laptop, on my phone, that allows me to keep track of everything. So I don't forget, oh, that's right, I have a CD here that's maturing on this date and I got to make a decision. These are important things, and we're all busy. So if you're like me and you've put off organizing finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in just a few minutes You get clear data visuals, smart categorization for your spending, finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Very easy to kind of lose control of how many times you've eaten out or ordered in or made an in-game purchase on your phone while you're, taking a break. Any of these little things that the money can add up. So Monarch is going to help you just take control, you and your partner, if your partner gets involved. So go check that out at monarchmoney.com. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com to get half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNBA. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Make your second listen Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Josh Lloyd hosts the #1 fantasy basketball podcast, not on the planet, not in the universe, in the multiverse. There's no world, no universe anywhere where Josh Lloyd's podcast is not #1. He's that good. Gives you daily tips, helping you with your league, make you a smarter NBA fan. So find Locked On Fantasy Basketball on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. All right, let's get back to the conversation here with Tom Westerholm and Joe Mazzulla. The criticism for Joe is maybe some in-game stuff and all of that. But, as a button pusher, I think he's right where he needs it. He's kind of ball buster, but he knows. I said this on a podcast before, like he's gone to all of these things like guys talk about. He's like, oh, he's come over and like been at my house and played with my kids. And, Chris Boucher got baptized and he was there for that. And it's not just like, hey, I'm going to show up and do this nice thing. Everywhere he goes to meet these guys and interact with these guys, he's taking in information. Joe is always gathering a dossier on people. And so he knows who can take it, who can't take it. How do I treat this guy? And so when you hear Anthony Simons talk about Joe's always giving me jabs about my defense, it's because Anthony Simons can take it, can handle it, and is competitive enough where if the head coach is sitting there being like, yeah, hey, well, look what we were doing. We're targeting Anthony. He's the pigeon out here. And you're like, motivates him to, okay, I've got to do this. I gotta be better at this. This is, if he's going to get the most out of his team, all these little things add up for him to kind of get these guys to do what he needs them to do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's funny, right? Because like Mazzulla would be, I think Mazzulla would be good at a lot of jobs if he was like interested in them. He seems to be a guy who like when something piques his interest, he really gets very interested in it. But I think he'd probably make a pretty good journalist, right? He likes to like find stuff out.
Oh, sure.
He likes to get little tidbits about people, and it seems to be a kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean, I think that seems to be. It's funny that that's so unique, that like all these coaches out there, and it's like, well, why is what Mazzulla? A lot of times, what Mazzulla does, it feels like common sense. It's like oh, like wow, Mazzulla really like he looked at his roster and saw a bunch of 3-point shooters. Like, wow, is real genius level stuff to like turn them into a 3-point shooting team. But like, yeah, no, like that makes sense. Like some of this stuff feels like common sense. It feels like common sense for the head coach of an NBA team to spend a lot of time getting to know the players on such a personal level. But I mean, he has a gift for it, right? Like that's part of it. Clearly he's good at it. Beyond, I think, probably the normal level, but it is funny when you just kind of say it out loud to just be like, oh man, Mazzulla's he's just so good at getting to know guys, and it's like, yeah, doesn't that sound like kind of common sense?
But that's the beauty of it, because he's not encumbered by how he thinks he should act, and I think this is his worldview. You hear him on the radio on 98.5, and they start asking him a bunch of questions like is it, the one about Tatum where they're like, is there a timeline for his return? And he's like, well, don't we all have timelines for our return? Like he's he just gets rid of a lot of the sports kind of pretense from every question that we give him. And that, listen, when I'm asking him questions, like I know that he doesn't buy into a lot of the canned premises of a lot of questions.
Right.
And he's not like that. And that allows him to do this stuff. When you say it's common sense, you're like, yeah, not enough people have common sense. It's the very simple, you know what? I'm going to go hang out with Jaylen Brown and go to one of his things. I'm going to go hang out with Derek White and go to something, I'm going to go to his house and play with his kids, whatever.
I mean, how excited do you think he was to go to a baptism? Like he must have been.
I mean, that legitimately, like honestly, knowing Joe, he was probably very like that might have been the highlight of the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But now think about being Chris Boucher.
Yeah.
You're just joining a team. You've made this decision, this personal decision. You're doing this, and then your coach shows up and is like, that. How many people are showing up for that? Right? Yeah. It's your inner circle, right? It's not a big public event. It's the people at his church, or, however many people that is, his family, and then his new head coach who has known him for like a day. Yeah. And now he's there, and you're like, damn, this dude is like in it.
Yeah.
So now you got Chris Boucher kind of like in your pocket.
Yeah.
And as I forget who it was that said it, it might have been Simons, who's like, when this guy actually cares about you personally, the stuff that he says to you in practice doesn't matter because where it's coming from is, hey, I want to win. This MF like curse, whatever, like the dress down, whatever. That's not because he has a thing against you,
right?
Which, you know what? It's ego, right? And for Joe, like a lack of ego or less ego than some other coaches who might be like, hey man, here I am. I'm your coach. I'm in charge, blah, blah, blah. And they don't take that time to make that connection or the right connection. And you get that. What does this guy have against me, man? Why is he on me? When Joe is on you, after practice, he will like put his arm around you and be like, I love you. I love you, but you got to be better, and you're like, okay, it's coming from a straight basketball place. And when it comes from a straight basketball place, you can accept it and you can work on what you need to work on. And that to me just sums it all up. And okay, you want to get into some X's and O's and criticize Joe. This really is at the heart of why Joe has had, if we're being honest, a ton of success, has already won a championship. Yeah. And, if it wasn't for some injuries, who knows how that Knicks series would have gone. If Kristaps Porzingis was not sick, who knows how that Knicks series would have gone, right? So that's the secret to his success.
Yeah, and maybe common sense isn't the right word. Maybe I think what it is, what it looks like to me is more of like almost like a sense of clarity. Like a clarity in how to communicate with people. Yeah, but also like a clarity in who he is and what's important to him. And yes. Then like that clarity is so strong for Mazzulla that it then shows up. It shows up as super just very real, like very authentic to the other to the people who it impacts, right? So when Joe Mazzulla is saying like, okay, we need to be killer whales, it doesn't come across as coach speak. It doesn't come across as like a bit. It just comes across as something that like, Joe really like thought and was like, this is, I think this is who we got to be, or when, if he attends Chris Boucher's baptism, it doesn't come across as a coach trying to like win points with his new player, or like, it doesn't even really come across as like a guy like necessarily like trying to make an impact. It sounds more like a guy who's like, oh, I'm this guy's coach, like this guy's important to me, we're about to have a very important relationship. It's this level of clarity of like, okay, well, I should be here. This is something that like I should attend and I want to attend and I'm going to be there. Like, yeah, it feels like, it feels like a sense of clarity more so of just knowing who he is, who he wants to be, what he wants to do, and how he wants to have a relationship with these players.
It's also what allows him to put together a starting lineup of 5 guys when there are probably 8 that think they should be starters. And, when one of them has been a starter and says, oh, okay, I'm not going to be, it allows him to kind of be like, hey, look, basketball only. So I think we have all, like, if you pay close attention to a lot of the stuff that's out there, I think we know what the starting lineup is going to be. It's not what I said, but we'll tell you what it looks like when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL season is here. Baseball playoffs are going on. And right now, if you're a new customer, you can bet $5. That's it. $5 as your first bet. And if you win, you get $300 in bonus bets. So that's it. Pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So you can do something like build a same game parlay where you can take whichever quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and be like touchdown passes, rushing yards, touchdown receptions. Or if you want to wait till the game starts and do live lines and be like, oh, this team's out to a big lead. Let me see what the live line is. I think they're going to lose that. And you can do that. So whatever, you want to have some extra fun with a game, you can do that on FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com. When you do that, you're going to get a pop-up that says, budgeting, set your budget, set your limit, do that. Set whatever your disposable income is, whatever you can afford to lose. Then you're gambling responsibly. If you hit a little bit of a skid, you're not falling out of control. When you get paid again, you get a little extra disposable income, you're back at it. So have some fun responsibly at FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app today and get started. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. You can make your second listen Locked On NBA if you'd like. I host Locked On NBA Game Night on Wednesdays with Jake Madison. During the season, Locked On NBA Game Night is a 7-day-a-week podcast that covers all the games in the association. Then the afternoon, Monday through Friday, Locked On NBA show covers the biggest storylines. So you have that covered as well. All right, Tom. As I said, this is like sleuthing. You look at the videos, you look at all the videos that are put out there, close ups. Okay, who's wearing the green reversible jersey, green and white? Who's in green? Those are your first unit guys. Who's in white? Those are your reserves. Now, it's not the starting lineup that I thought it was going to be, or I was thinking it should be, but it appears from the videos that it's Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser, and Neemias Queta. And Joe was very effusive in his praise of Sam Hauser on 98.5 The Sports Hub, which lends a little extra credence because he mentioned that Sam is 32-8 as a starter. So, put that out there. Talked about how much he is a two-way player and he makes team, his efficiency numbers, his on-off numbers are really good. So what do you think of that potential? So when we see Wednesday night, what is it, Memphis, the first preseason game, that being the starting lineup?
It's a weird starting lineup, man. Like I mean, that's my first thought is just like, okay, so you're going to be running, but you got Queta out there. And it's not like Hauser's like particularly speedy. I mean, he's useful in transition. He's fast enough to, to be a transition player and kind of, space the floor in transition. But you don't think to yourself like, you don't think to yourself of Sam Hauser as a get the ball and go guy, right? Like, that's one of the things that we've talked about is like, okay, get it and go, like you get out, go. So, I mean, there's obviously a million ways around that. It's just an odd lineup. I don't know. It's probably fine. I still kind of stand by my take that like you know, I mean, we'll see if I'm right. I still kind of think that Anthony Simons is just, I think he's going to be, I think he's a little too good to be on the bench, but that's neither here nor there. You know, and, you know, we've talked about how, like, okay, like if you're coming in with the second unit, you have more opportunities to score. That could be beneficial. I think the thing that I note, the thing that I note the most about this lineup is that no matter what it was going to be, it was always going to look weird. It was always going to be an odd grouping because this is an odd group of players.
Yes.
So this is the odd grouping that we settled on. I'm like, all right, fine, fair enough.
Sure.
See how it goes.
And it might be situational. It could be that, you
yeah.
know, different guys get different opportunities, and maybe, you know, maybe Pritchard isn't comfortable as a starter, you know, and that goes away. Maybe Hauser's not comfortable as a starter, and that goes away. So, you know, you have to give it a shot and see. Well, Hauser and Pritchard have been here. Pritchard was the sixth man of the year. You can make the argument like he has earned this. And you know what?
If we're about Hauser, yeah,
right. It goes back to the Joe pressing the right buttons and all of that stuff. You start the season, we're not really worried about championship or anything like that, right?
Right.
Even though Joe has said we're setting a championship habit, or however he's putting it. Sure, championship process. That's what he said. Like, okay, fine. That's your way of saying we're not competing, but we want to work like we would be competing. Okay, that's great. That's all fine. So the message with this starting lineup seems to be, you've been here, you've put in the work, you have earned this opportunity. And so, Sam and Peyton, you're the guys. You're the guys that we're going to go with. We're not going to have you, you know, sit here and think, hey, man, I put in all this work, and here's my chance to start. And starting is still important to a lot of NBA players. No matter what they say, there's a little extra something. You hear your name, you know, Eddie Palladino is screaming your name, and you see your face in the Jumbotron, and that's all fun. So if you're Joe, you say, okay, you guys have earned this. If by Thanksgiving, the record isn't exactly where you think it should be, and the on-off numbers make certain other lineups more, make more sense, then Joe can go to, I'm just going to say Hauser.
Sure.
Joe can go to Sam and be like, you know what? The on-off numbers with this group, or, you know, the numbers with this group are better. And so we're going to move you back to the bench. And this is going to be the other group that we go with, because the numbers have borne out this result. And, you know, because Joe has these relationships with these guys, you can do that. So I think just because it's the starting lineup, or it seems to be the starting lineup.
Yeah.
There's no reason to think that by November, December, January, like by the All-Star break, you know, we might be doing podcasts on how many different starting lineups the Celtics have had.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that's like plausible to the point of being likely. Yeah. Because again, there's so many weird iterations of this team. There's just so many weird different looks that you can have, that it's like they're all strange. So there's no way to hammer down one. You know, there's no way to say like this is for sure the best group. I don't know what the best group is. Nobody. You can't tell yet. So at some point we're gonna have to figure out where Jayson Tatum fits back in. So you know,
at some point, like you know, Christmas.
Yeah, like November 3. It sounds like
Listen. Just as an aside, I've been saying March. I've revised that to February.
Yeah.
Like I think Sunday, February 8th against the Knicks. I'm like, oh, that's such a juicy date. That's such a perfect date. But now I'm like, I'm starting to look at the January schedule.
Starting to feel a little more January-ish.
Yeah, like you just see what that schedule might look like. So
yeah.
But yeah, like that's I can't wait to do the should Jayson Tatum start or come off the bench podcast.
More starting lineup podcasts. We're gonna have a lot of chatter this year.
A lot of yeah. But you know, like going back to the Sam Hauser thing, just real quick. I went back and looked at his media day, and you know, he talked about let's see here. I might be in situations like a ball screen or a second side action where I'm handling and I have to make the right decision, or it's a pass, a shot, whatever it may be. I'm excited for that. I've been working on things like that this summer a lot, just in case that's the spot I'm put in. And that's an important thing. Like he acknowledges, I think the Celtics offense is just going to be when we talk about pace, I don't even know that they're going to be a big transition team. You can be a good pace team.
Yeah, that's true.
Without transition.
That's definitely true. Yeah.
And so the second side, that's where I think Sam Hauser's going to have to like show something. And the work that he's doing is going to be important because you bring the ball up, you start your offense at 18 on the shot clock. You start on the right side. Boom, 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 pick, nothing. Ball swings around to the other side. And like the bigs, I think the bigs are going to have to be in incredible shape. The bigs are going to be like screening.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Celtics bigs set like 8 screens of possession. It's just going to be over and over and over again until somebody frees up. And that means everybody else is going to have to put the ball on the floor. So obviously Pritchard is used to that. Derek, Jaylen, but Simons obviously can do. Sam, Baylor, Shireman. If it's Jordan Walsh out there, he's going to have to do it. All of these guys are going to have to at some point. If you're on the wing, you're going to have the ball in your hand. You're going to have to make a decision because if the offense runs the way it's supposed to, it's going to be heavy side to side, multiple attacks, and if you can't run a pick and roll and make a good decision, you're not going to play. Yeah. And that might be the place where Hauser his role is determined. Can you be the pick and roll ball handler? We know you can be the shooter, catch and shoot and pull up and all that stuff. Can you be a pick and roll ball handler and make the right pass and then cut, relocate, and be a spot up guy again? If you're not used to moving, you're going to have trouble in this offense. I'm not saying he's going to be Steph Curry out there, or the old Ray Allen plays, but you're going to have to be doing multiple things. The days of just being a spot up guy, spacer, maybe you deck it as you attack a closeout. That's not what this offense is going to be. You gotta do a lot more. That's going to be the most interesting part of things for like guys like Hauser and the other guys, Shireman and those guys. Yeah,
get a nice before picture, because your after picture, you might be looking pretty shredded.
I know.
After all this work you're about to put in.
It's going to be, it's going to be a fun, like I want a team weigh in.
Yeah.
Because what's the collective weight on opening night?
Yeah.
And what's the collective weight when the season ends? And I bet you everybody loses like 10 pounds, So that's
they should trade for Anthony Davis. He apparently he needs to lose some weight.
Oh, but he loses that easy.
He loses it easy. He loses it every year.
Every year.
This is what you just do every year.
Yeah. Another big win for Nico Harrison.
He simply cannot stop winning.
Cannot stop winning. Fortune favors the bold, Tom.
It does. Sure.
All right.
Yeah. Apparently it does. He got Cooper Flag, so apparently fortune really does.
Yeah. All right. We're done. See you, Tom.
I appreciate you.
Always appreciate you, Tom. I always appreciate you listening, watching, doing whatever you do while you're listening or watching, walking the dog, driving to work, in the shower, at the gym, at work. I'm not going to tell anybody, just do what you got to do, but always be doing the podcast. Listen to the podcast, watch the podcast, share your thoughts in the comment section on YouTube. That's the place to go to share your thoughts on the podcast. Are we right? Are we wrong? Disagree with us? Agree with us? Shower praise upon us, whatever you want to do, especially that last part. But do it in the comment section. And then I would love it if you shared the podcast and tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.